Hey, everybody, welcome to this Board Game Life episode number 103. Mark is doing the
I'm producing.
Not sign language. Yeah, he's directing me, even though I got cut off guard that we were starting.
You told me twice you're ready.
Yeah, I didn't know you hit the go button. You hit the launch button. And then I just happened to look up at my screen and boom, there was the countdown. Anyway, let me move you down so I don't get like a crick in my neck from looking up so high on my high monitor. Oh, there you are. Much better. Anyway, as I had mentioned in my very professional intro there, this is this Board Game Life title episode number 103 titled Spread the Gaming. How about that for a clever title?
Cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Actually, before I talk about myself, I just want to mention that this is the show about games, tabletop games, board games, whatever we want to call them, and anything else we want to talk about. And this is also the show where we podcast, and every episode is like the first one. We are that professional. At least I'm speaking for myself in that. I won't speak for you, Mark. So I am Rob, one of your fine hosts for today, and as always, I got my good buddy Mark.
Hey everybody, how's it going? How you doing? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the madness.
You need to start doing like I don't know, like have some hey, have some kind of like signature.
Hey Rob.
What up? Or we can do what's up? Anyway.
Oh gosh,
enough of that. No,
you
don't like that, man. That makes me laugh every single time. In fact, I just recently saw online the wasabi.
It just shows our age.
Yeah, the guy was at a sushi restaurant. Anyway,
wonder how many people on here are like, what are they talking about?
Yeah, those boomers. Or no, I'm not a boomer. I don't know about you, Mark, but anyway, before we get on with the rest of the show, just want to make a quick mention that you can also find us out on YouTube because we do post our podcast out there in addition to video unboxings, playthroughs, reviews, and we're hitting a milestone on there. We're getting close to 500.
We are.
You know, you keep calling me out like almost every single video you put out. I'm like, what the heck, man?
So
this is abuse.
I guess this is a good time to ask. So I should let everybody know I never cleared that with Rob. I just said, hey, Rob's going to start doing this because I said so.
You are half the creative team.
So Rob, what's going to happen? Is anything going to happen at 500?
We're going to have a pizza party. That's what's going to happen.
Rob's going to take a nap. Yay, I'm going to take a nap.
We'll go to Chuck E. Cheese or something like that. How about that?
Oh.
You can play that ball rolling thing into the circles to your heart's content.
Yay. What the people want, they want to see Rob on doing
do.
content. Is that something that we might happen?
They can see me like 15 years younger when I was in my utes posting on there. No, but yeah, I'm slowly getting a space ready in my newish house that I've been in for like 8-9 years now. And yeah, I'll start doing videos that I can do. So
awesome.
You know, while I do want us to hit that milestone mark quickly, you know, it doesn't need to be too quick. so I can get some time. I was actually thinking you know, I can maybe start doing some stuff downstairs outside of that room on my table in the interim because, hey, you know, any kind of content is better than no content.
Yeah, and you've got a lot of. I like when you talk, when and you
Yes.
share your knowledge and experience.
Big brain
It's
knowledge.
big brain on Rob,
Yeah,
exactly.
yep.
So the people want to hear from you. They want to see you. We got to give the people what they want.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, my only challenge, because I've thought about this before, my only challenge about doing stuff downstairs is I would want to do it on my dining room table, which has a ton of room, but it's counter height. It is like really tall. So the challenge is like now you have to get everything up even higher.
Yeah.
But, sometimes we call that kind of stuff excuses.
Yes.
But it is a thing. It is a thing. So
I could call you something, but I'll be nice.
Thank you.
I don't want to get
it.
canceled for calling you names or bullying you. I don't want to cyberbully you.
Why stop now?
Hey,
you've done it ever since high school. Keep it up. Actually, that's how I know you love me.
Exactly.
If I don't get bullied, then I know something's up.
So
that's how it goes.
So be sure to like and subscribe, like this video, and subscribe to this channel. It's free of charge. We are closing in on 500. And again, I challenged Rob to put content out. It is his channel after all. So I challenged him to start producing again like he used to do. He did good content back in the day. And so, we just want to keep adding to the channel and do more stuff for you guys. So
definitely sounds good. All righty. And, before, I think I said that already. Before we get on with the main topics and the news, there's a little bit that I scrounged up right before the show. Let's talk about what we've been getting to the table. You want to go?
Okay, sure.
Go first.
So I did play some FlipToons. So this is one of those games that I picked up at Gen Con.
Yeah.
And it
definitely had some of the hotness.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a fun little game. It's a quick little card game. I mean, it's not a in-depth thing, but it's fun. The artwork is gorgeous, and I had a good time with it, and it was a cute little game. Then I also got to play Galileo Galilei. This is the second game that I got from Tomas Holek, who is like one of my. I think he's very quickly become possibly my favorite designer.
Oh, nice.
Because I love SETI. I really like SETI. So then I'm like, all right, I'm going to check out Galileo Galilei, which is like the second game. Or so what? It was, I think, last year he put 3 games out, and they were all met with like
they all
huge,
hit at the same time too.
Yeah, they all hit like the same time, and they all hit very well. And so, I mean, look, I'm gonna look it up at his thing,
because I think originally, CGE came out with SETI, which was kind of like their big game last year, right?
Yes.
At Gen Con, or we'll call it like Midsummer. And then he had 2 follow-up games that came out at Essen.
Correct. Well, SETI came out at Essen last year.
No.
Yes.
Did it?
Yep.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
It was released because, remember, last year at Gen Con, it wasn't available, but I got to do a playthrough.
That's right.
But it was not released, and I didn't get my copy till like April of this year. Or sometime early in the beginning of the year when it finally came over to the States. But
you did a playthrough at
I did
Gen
in 2024, yes.
But it was just like a pre-release / demo copy, whatever you want to call it, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So that was like his first game. And Galileo Galilei also came out in 2024 along with Tea Garden. So those are his first 3 games that he has designed. They all came out in the same year. They all have had very high praise. And I fell in love with SETI, absolutely loved it. So I was hearing so much about Galileo Galilei that I'm like, let me check this out, kind of see what it's about. It looked really interesting. So I'm like, I picked it up at Gen Con this year. I did grab a copy of it, got to play it, and I really like this game as well. This is a really fun, a lot of different things going on, and it's a really good game. So it's like, okay, this guy has made 2 games. He's got 3 games out. He published in 1 year, his first year, 3 of them out. I've played 2. They're amazing. I'm not interested in the third one in the theme, but I went and got it anyways because I am so like taken aback and enjoying the gameplay of the first 2 games he designed that I'm like, I've got to have the third one. I have to get this, ignore the theme of the tea garden and just play because I'm like, I feel very confident that the gameplay is going to be fantastic. So I know I'm getting a little off track. I'm supposed to talk about games I played, and I'm turning it into this, this love fest for Tomas Holek. But I'm just like, wow. Like I did get Tea Garden. It arrived just the other day, and I'm gonna get it to the table. I'm gonna try to get it tabled like within the next week, 2 weeks. I want to play it. I'm so curious if is his gaming, his design gonna stick with me on the third one. And I know he's got a bunch of stuff still coming out even.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. He's
got Aquaria coming out this year.
That's taking care of a lionfish. That's interesting. 45 to 120 minutes.
Yeah. Then Below Asylum, and I forgot about this. I remember looking at the game. I think it was on GameFound, or it was crowdfunded somewhere. And I remember looking at this and I kind of ignored it because it's like a horror game.
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, I might have to go back and relook at this when it comes out. That's going to be 2026. Then he's also got, I don't know how to pronounce. That's like in a different language. I don't even know how to pronounce it. It looks like a little B game. It's probably something for kids. It's like
I think that's Schmelazzi or something like that.
Yeah. And then he's got Pondscape coming out this year.
That was guiding a bumblebee across a blooming meadow.
Okay.
Schmelazzi.
Okay. Yeah, so that's sometime this year. And then also Pondscape this year as well. And that thing's rated at a 9.8 on BGG.
Which one?
Pondscape.
Okay.
So, like, yeah, he's doing very well. He's, with stuff that's what he's got rated here. Let's see. His lowest is, what is his lowest? I'm not looking at the expansions. SETI's an 8.5. Oh, wait, hold on. No, Space Agencies is. SETI is 8.4. Pondscape's 9.8. Galileo Galilei is at 7.6. And Aquaria is 6.3, which isn't even out yet. But it's, so that's his lowest one. And I'm like, I bet it's going to be bigger than that when it comes out. I don't even know how it could have a rating yet. It's only 4 ratings, but.
I was just looking at the Pondscape images. They look pretty cool. It's a whole bunch of pictures of these frogs. So I hope there's no controversy with that. But yeah, he's made some amazing games in the past. And, man, who was it? I think it was Wolfgang Warsch a couple of years ago. He did kind of like the same thing. Maybe it was Alexander Pfister. One of those two guys. They had like all these games that released at once, and they came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I think it was Wolfgang. So maybe Tomas is, following in the footsteps and blazing his own trail. But no matter what, if he makes great games, we all win.
Yep.
That's the beauty of it.
So if you've played SETI and then you look at Galileo Galilei and go, oh, it just looks like another space game, they are completely different games. They don't play anything similar. It's these are two games you're going to want in your collection. But so Galileo Galilei, fantastic. Absolutely loved it. Can't wait to play it again. And I'm so glad that I picked that game up. All right. Let's see. What else did I play?
You liked it so much you got it twice.
We're not going to talk about that again. I was able to sell my second copy at a slight discount. So you
helped,
I was able to sell one of the copies that I had. So, all right. The Last Command. So I talked about this on our post-Gen Con. I got to play this.
Mm-hmm.
This is, to me, I look at it as like a Star Realms to the next level. You are each player. It's a 2-player game. You're sitting across from each other. You are building a deck like Star Realms. It has that space type of theme, but there's play mats, and you have, instead of just like playing cards, you're building 2 decks instead of 1. You're building a deck that has like engineering, command or tactical, and comms, I think, are the 3 different departments or stations on the ship. And then you have crew. So you have a separate deck with crew that you're putting in to certain of those areas on the ship to try to create synergies based on the character and what they do. They may not always go into the, like, if you've got a comms room and you pull a deck person or crew that is a comms person, you still may not put them there because there are some synergies that they can have based on the card to a different room. So you're trying to determine where best to put them to create the best actions and overall. And what's interesting is you can get some pretty powerful combos, but what's I think is very interesting about this game is the way it's designed. You're going to basically, those cards won't stay in place long, because once you have to reshuffle, you take all, like when you have to rebuild your crew deck, you take all the crew cards, you take the discarded and all the ones that are deployed, you pick them all up, shuffle them up, and make a new deck. So all your crew gets basically dismissed from the rooms. And same with the rooms themselves. When that deck is empty, you take your discard and then all the ones that are deployed and you reshuffle them and put new ones out again. So it keeps the game from having like I had one ability where I'm like, every time I was able to, boom, I'm putting a malfunction in against my opponent. And when I put a malfunction in their game, there's sometimes I can put it like immediately on them, or I put it like, it was put it into a discard pile, or some of them would allow me to put it at the top of one of their draw decks. So it's the very next card they draw. And then they're taking damage and, having to deal with the effects of the malfunction cards. And what I liked was not all the malfunction cards are the same. Some really didn't do much except hinder your hand. Others were like, you're going to take damage and this happens. And so there's different effects to those cards. And, at first I was like, oh man, I got to draw a crew. I don't want to lose this because every time I get to put the damage on you, but it keeps the game from like someone getting a really powerful, just devastating combo to, keep the game more balanced. I think it's a very interesting way. So even if like someone's attacking you just like boom, boom, and you're just like, oh man, this is brutal, they're going to have to wipe pretty soon. They probably won't have that ability more than 2 rounds, and then they're going to end up probably having to wipe their hand. So, and then when you draw up each hand, you can take from either whichever the 2 decks. You're always drawing up like 3 cards. It's like, which ones do you want to draw from? So it's really neat game. Again, this is The Last Command. I love it. I absolutely love it. This is fantastic. And it's just a very well done game.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and, I'm really happy with it.
I hope the game gets the notoriety that it deserves. And
I do too.
I don't say it needs to be picked up by a big company, but just that it shines like it should.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
So, And that was designed by Ty McDonald of Sentient Games. So it's self-published, and it's a fantastic game. So I do recommend this. I gave it a 9 on BGG. I ranked it a 9. I didn't give it a 10 because there's, I gotta, and I'm gonna actually do a review. I'll do a review, and I don't rate when I do my reviews on YouTube. I don't give them a score, but I'm this one. I'm sharing what I gave it on BGG, but I don't like necessarily giving things a score when I'm doing a rating. It's more of like, did I really like the game? Do I recommend people buy it? Do I recommend maybe just find a friend that has it and play their copy, or just ignore it? And I tell you why I believe that. But on this game, the only reason I didn't rate this a 10 was because the player mats, the way they're set out, it's the draw deck is like that's in the top right corner and then right below that. But then when you play them, at the top of the mat is your ship and your health. So then that top deck, the top card comes down to like the middle, and then the middle, which is your player, comes to the bottom. And it's like, I kind of wish, and the person I was playing with struggled with this, and she was just like, this, because they're not lined up on the playmat, was confusing. And I kind of agree with that. It's like, it would have been nice if your play area for the crew and your discard were lined up on the same part of the mat, and then the compartments, and then had something else up top. It's minor. It doesn't, once you just kind of like, okay, I got to just, you get that, because I didn't struggle with that, but my opponent, that kind of kept being an issue. And she was talking about like, that was really the only thing she had a problem with. And I'm like, yeah, I can see that. And I agree that it would be nice that if they were lined up, but that's it. Like, so yeah. It's not perfect. And I don't think any game's ever perfect, but I think this game is like right there. It's real close. Like, if it wasn't for that, I probably would have just given it a 10. It's really good. So anyways, I'm gushing over this one as well.
You don't have to give a game a score. You can just give it like, thumbs up, thumbs down, buy it, play it with your friends, pass, there's so many different ways you could do it. Yeah.
And that's what I like to do when I do my reviews. But I do rank them on BGG.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, so when I'm like looking at when we got to do our top 10, top 100, whatever we're going to do, I can go back and sort, like, what did I sort as my favorites, and then I use that. That's really the only reason I kind of use that type of ranking in here, is just so I can filter out what are my favorites. So, but The Last Command is a fantastic 2-player space battling card deck building game. So I do highly recommend it.
Okay. Awesome.
Next is Line of Fire Burnt Moon.
Ooh, what's this?
Good question. I don't even remember.
Oh boy.
It's not one I had. It's one that a friend of mine brought.
Is this something you were typing for work and you accidentally typed it in the wrong window?
No, this is like, I think this is a standalone 2-player card game that fuses lean deck building of the award-winning, that's right, Undaunted series with lane battling. And I'm not familiar with like Undaunted, and I'm not really sure I would like it based on, because this takes that Undaunted system and creates this lane battler game, and it's not anything I'm looking forward to playing again. And it was weird because the thing that I got hung up on, and I was watching Monique and Naveen do a playthrough, and they kept talking about, I'm attacking with my Moss B, I'm attacking your Moss B, and it was like, there's the names of these cards, like, I'm like, this makes no sense. And it's one of those things, like, I just can't, when they kept saying it, I had to finally just turn it off. I'm like, I got so tired of hearing Moss B, Moss A, Moss B. I'm like, what are you talking about? And it's like the name of like the mech or something, or the type of mech. And there's just these weird names in this game. And it's like one of those things that for some reason, it just creates a disconnect for me. And I'm like, oh, you have to have this card in this lane of this type, A or B, to attack. You can't put any more B cards in this row, and if it's A's, and it's just a weird system that I didn't like. I only played it once, but it was just strange. And then like the sci-fi naming and the way this lane battler worked, it just like, I don't know. I don't think I'm a very big fan of lane battlers. I've tried a couple, and I do think Compile Main 1 is interesting, and I do like that, but I think the idea of it, and it makes a little bit more sense where I can keep playing. This one I was just like, man, this is confusing. And I think I was gaining the kind of idea by the end, but this is one it just didn't. I'm like, I'm fine not playing it again, and it's nothing against the game. It's just my personal taste, right? Just wasn't really for me, but
okay.
I also played The Gang. This is one that someone else brought. We did it as a warm-up at Game Group last week. It's basically a poker game, but it's like a cooperative poker game. And I remember hearing this is done very well, and got really good reviews. And I'm like, this just didn't sound interesting because I'm not a poker player, not much into poker. And I'm like, how can you do poker cooperatively? Well, it works. It's interesting how this game plays. I did like it. You are basically playing, what is it called? Is it Let It Ride? No, I think that's what they called it in Vegas. It's where you got the river and the what do they call it? You put out 3 cards that everybody shares. Everyone else has 2 in their hands, and then you make your bets, and then they flip another card, and then everybody bets, and then they put the last one out, type of thing. I can't think of what that's called, but I'm totally drawing a blank on what it's called. But anyways, that's kind of what you're playing. But you're you have these chips that you put out that sit out at the beginning of each round before the flip happens, or the flop in the river. I think that's what it's called. But you're basically, you can't communicate really with the rest of your team, but you're trying to determine who has the best hand. And you want to make sure, you want to be right. So we all are sharing the cards in the middle, and then you're basically trying to communicate by, like, you take there's a chip that's got like a 1-star, 2-star, 3-star. So like if you got a really strong hand, you want to take the 3 poker chip and put it in front of you. And then, it's Texas Hold'em. I guess that's the name of that game. Okay. That's what it's called, the poker game. So you're playing a cooperative version of Texas Hold'em. But so if you've got a really strong hand, you might take the 3 chip to designate to the other players that I've got a good hand. But someone else might go, well, hey, I got a good hand too. And then they can actually take that from you. And then you have to take a different chip. And then if you got nothing, like, you want to try to take the 1. And what sucks is, like, if you got nothing and you're too slow and someone takes it, then you're like, oh boy, now I'm taking a 2 chip and I got nothing. But everyone else is like, okay, Mark's got a fair hand, they got nothing and I've got a strong hand. But so it's like, and then that you flip the next card, or you put the next set of chips out and you flip the next card, and people are basically, trying to signify by the taking of the chip how strong their hand is. And you just want to be correct. So whoever at the end is saying, I've got the strongest hand, if anyone else of the other players beats their hand, then the whole team loses. And then that quote AI wins, right? You have to win 3 rounds or 3 hands to basically win this game cooperatively. And it's actually really fun. played real quick, and I don't know how many play. There's still plays 3 to 6 people. So if you like poker, and this is kind of like a group way of playing a real quick poker game, but cooperatively. So all right, I got to get moving. Shadow Hunters I played. Excellent deduction game. Talked about that one in the past. Silos. This is the new remake, the Reiner Knizia game. I really enjoyed Silos. I thought I would like it. I really like the theme of the aliens, like a 1950s alien abducting cows and humans and stuff. And I really like this game. It's like you are trying to have area control in as many areas that you possibly can by moving your people around. And there's this UFO that moves around, and when the UFO goes to the area that you have majority, then like you get a cow, which is wild, and whoever has second majority gains like whichever person's there, they get to take that person. And you're trying to basically get 4 different people. There's like a politicians, scientists, farmers, I don't know. There's like 4 different classifications of people. They're basically purple, green, tan, or white and brown, I think, are the 4 different colors, right? And then the cows are like wild. They can act as any one of the humans. But so when you get one of each different type of human, you turn them in for this power token, or basically, and that's whoever gets to 5 of these tokens first wins. So basically, you're trying to get these people, all these different types of people and cows, as fast as possible. But it's always changing. Like you're constantly having to move people around. You're trying to chase the abilities of each location. There's all different types of things that are going on at each location, and they all do different things. So it's really fun. I really like it. It is a worker placement, kind of worker management, area control game that plays relatively quickly. I think it was less than an hour, and it's a lot of fun. So that's Silos. I got to play the Peak Team. This is a Scott Alms game. It's a cooperative game where you're playing these like rangers, park rangers, and you've got this like mountainscape on the board, and there's all these different places that you need to go to. And there's a whole bunch of missions, and it basically are these random spots all over the board. And then there's a bunch of animals, and like on the easiest level, which we played, you have to get all through all the missions and collect all the animals, basically. And that's like stage 1. Stage 2, actually I think we did stage 2 because I think that included the animals. But then there's like a level 3, 4, and a 5 complexity to make the game harder. And I'm like, I mean, we were not successful. We were missing like 2 animals at the end of the game. We did all our missions, but there was 2 animals. We couldn't get to their locations. And it's interesting because everyone has cards, but when you get your cards, you have to split your hand like in half. So we had 3 people playing, so I had to split my deck in half and give my cards to the other players. You don't get to keep your hand that you draw. You are looking at what your other players are trying to do. You see the flags on the board where they need to go, and you're trying to give them the proper tools and the means to get to those locations with the cards you give them. And then, of course, they're trying to do the same back for each other. And that's what you have to use to try to move around the map. So it's cooperative, but there is limited communication. At times, you can't talk about the cards. You can't say what you have in your hand. You can talk about, well, I can get to this point, but I need help getting up to my location, right? So, like, and you might have each of us gets like this token, which gives an additional move, but we can't use it on our turn. We have to use someone else's token. So it's this kind of, everything we're doing is to move somebody else, if that makes sense. And then they're trying to help you yourself move. It's a very interesting game. It's really fun. I really like it. And I'm looking forward to, even though we weren't successful, we were really close. And I think if we play it again on the easy mode like we did, I think we'll get it with no problem. I messed up at the very beginning, thinking that our little token would flip at the beginning of every round, and I was wrong. You have to pay like cards, like 4 cards, discard 4 of your cards to get that to reset. And giving up 4 cards is tough at the very beginning of the game. Plus, knowing now that we know kind of like, okay, this makes sense, and now we understand how to playing it again, I think we'd be successful in the next time around. And then what I think is cool about the game is there's ways to amp it up and make it more difficult by adding in, there's like to block trails that have to be repaired. Otherwise, you can't go cross those trails. There's weather effects, and there's other things that go into the game that will make the game a lot harder as you want to ramp the difficulty up. So really neat game. The Peak team, excellent game that I picked up at Gen Con. Really glad I got at as well. Okay,
Very
next
nice.
played some Ticket to Ride.
First time.
First time I played this game they called the Train Game.
It's really cool.
Yeah. My daughter kicked my butt, so she's back on top again. So that made her happy.
She gets a high five.
Yeah. That's her game. That is her game. She loves Ticket to Ride. I did get to play Arc Nova again. Oh, so much fun. This is one of those games like, man, I've got to get this to the table more than I do. I've only got to play this game twice. And it's so good. I really, really like it. I'm going to try to get this back more, get this out more often.
There's a new version.
And we don't want to talk. We're not talking about it.
Crowdfunding.
We're not talking about it. There's no such thing. There's nothing to see here. Shut up, Rob. The cheap version is $100. I already looked at it and was calculating.
If I do this with my version,
I don't want the 3D version.
Yeah,
it's too freaking big.
Yeah.
But I would love to have the acrylic version, which is basically replacing all the cardboard with acrylic tiles. But then it's like, well, I want the play mats, and I also want the metallic coins, and there was something else, and I'm like, this is going to cost me $200 plus. No, I own the game. I've played it twice. I can't do it, Mark. I can't do it.
Yep. No, that is the voice of reason.
I got to grow up, and I got to be an adult.
You are an adult. That's how you have all your games, right?
Yeah, it's a problem, Rob.
Yeah.
But So, and again, of course, I could say, well, this is a game I really do enjoy. I could, justify like spending the money because like Castles of Burgundy, spent a lot of money on that, and I've played it like once. So that's the problem. I don't want to spend all that money on something I won't play more than one time. But it's just opened up today, like you mentioned. So there's a good chance it's still going to end up. I'm still going to fund that darn thing. But I will not be doing the 3D version. I would do the acrylic tile version.
Yeah.
Because it looks nice. Okay, moving on. I got a couple more. Dice Town I played for the very first time. And easy game. Really fun game, actually.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know if you've ever played. Have you played Dice Town, Rob?
Yeah. Long time ago.
Yeah, it's an old game, but I was like, wow, this is fun. So it's a easy game, but it's fun.
Yeah. And also I sort of like the art on that. It's
I do too.
The art it's done by Piero, who does I haven't seen anything from him in a long time, but he does good stuff.
And there they go. Bark, bark, bark.
They like Piero as well.
Yeah.
That's why.
All right, next I played Up or Down. So this is another Gen Con acquisition. It was a kind of a quick. It's an inexpensive game. It was a little card game, but it was from Michael Kiesling and Wolfgang Kramer. So I'm like, gotta have it. And this turned out to be a really fun game. A lot more than I expected. And I think it would be a little complicated for me to try to explain it. I think I would butcher the explanation. But And even when I was setting it up and I was like, what? This doesn't make sense, but it actually does. And as you start to play it and understanding the card placement, you're drafting cards essentially from this central market, if you will. But there's a way you do it. You have to place a card and then take a card to either left or right of it. And that's what you play in front of you. And so you're limited, and you can't just play anything. You have to follow the numbers on the cards. And it gets very, very tricky. It's an easy game, but yet there's more to it than meets the eye, I think. Okay. Once you start playing it, then you're just like, okay, all right, if I do this, then I'm playing that, because when I put a card out, it might be something that I want to play, but I can't play it. I have to put it in the market and take something else. But then your opponent might take that card. So you're trying to how can I get this card out to try to get it back myself? Because you're seeing what they're building, and basically it's like an elevator up or down. And it's just really, really good game, up or down. Again, check this one out. It plays in 30 minutes. It plays up to 6 people. And I only played it with 2. And we were talking about how much more interesting this would be at 6 players. And it was you're going to put a card out and the whole market will change by the time it comes back to you. It's because there's 6 cards in the market. And then so you can also, you put a card in the market, you take a card, you play it, then you have to draw from one of the 2 draw decks that are sitting in the middle of the market. One of the decks is face down, one's face up. So that's I can see this, but it's I don't necessarily want that card, but now I got to take something, I don't know what it is. And there's this whole mathing trying to go on in your head of well, if I take this based on what's here, am I going to even be able to play that next time? Or I'm going to be stuck taking something else. And you can only build three lines in front of you. And if you get a point where you can't, then you collapse that line and basically discard it. And then you gain a point per card. But that's very minimal points. And then not only are you trying to get if I put a 2 out, right, and the cards are numbered 1 to 126, but in a 2-player game, I think we went from 1 to 42, I think. So the range of the cards, and then so you're taking one out, and it's basically an elevator. It's up or down, right? So once you place a card down, that's where you start. So say I put a 2, well, obviously I'm going to build up because I could grab a 1 if it appears, but then there's nothing, I can't go below that. So if I put a 2 down in my area, then I'm having to build up, and every card after has to be higher than that. And you can't, if I put a card in the middle, like a 20, whether I go up or down depends on the second card I place. You can't go both. Once you place your second card is dictating whether you're going up or down.
Okay.
And so you're seeing what everyone else is doing. They're going down. That's good. I got the ability to go up. And you're trying to look at the cards in the market and figure out, it's really, it's a good one. It's a good one. And, make you think.
That's good to hear. Cause I picked it up as well over at Gen Con, and I actually just took the shrink off of it because, unfortunately, I didn't pay it no mind since I brought it home because there was bigger, shinier boxes that I had. Yeah,
this is a little shiny box.
Yeah, it's a little one. I mean, I appreciate having the little games, and yes. And the thing that I appreciate about this as well is that it is I think, like you had mentioned, it's a 2-deck, right? 2 card deck game
to draw from.
And it's not in a Flip 7 style box. I really don't like those that hang.
But the original Flip 7 was not in that box that they're now shipping it. The Flip 7 that they're releasing now is the cheaper, what do they call it? A kiosk type of...
Yeah, it hangs on a peg hook or whatever they call it.
Yeah, the original Flip 7 was in a nice box, kind of up or down. Mm-hmm. So... But check this game out. Really, really good. And the last one I'm going to talk about is Propolis. This is one, Rob and you and I got this at the AEG event, the birthday event. No, the AEG Big Game Night.
And eventually from Kickstarter, whenever that happens.
Oh, yeah. I got that coming as well. Yeah, yay. So, hey, I think we're going to have a giveaway at some point because I'm getting Point Galaxy and Propolis will show up someday, even though I already got them from AG. But hey, I'm not complaining. I got it early.
Exactly.
So Propolis is by the same people. I believe it's the same team that did the Point Galaxy, Salad, Point City games, right?
What were they, Flat Out or something like that?
It is Flat Out, yeah. And I wasn't sure about this game. And after playing it, I'm like, this is fantastic. It's basically Point Salad, but
the OG.
Yeah, it's that kind of gameplay. You're trying to, but you are placing bees on these landscape cards. So like Point City and Salad and Galaxy, the cards are double-sided. So one side will have like a structure on it that you're trying to get enough resources to purchase the structure to put into your area that will give you points, and then some permanent resources and things like that, much like a Point Salad, right? And then there's like a bigger building you can try to get, but you're trying to get a tableau of, I think it was 10 cards. As soon as you have 10, the game ends. And then you start adding up the points. So it's really neat that when you're putting your worker bees out on these landscape cards, you're getting resources. So you place them out like standing up, and then you gain that resource. Now on your next turn, you can what they call fortify that landscape, and then you lay the bees down on their side. You get to take those resources again. And then if there's 2 rows of landscape cards, and at any point where any one of those landscape cards, or at any point, like at the end of my turn, if one of the rows has no cards on it that is completely empty, then you do a majority. You check for who has majority on that row. And if I had majority, then I get to take all my bees back basically as a bonus. If I don't, and the other person does, or someone else in the game does, then they get their worker bees back, and they gain a wild ability. So you want to make sure you have majority. So you got to be careful when you're placing stuff on landscapes. When your worker bee is standing up, it counts as 1. When they're fortified and laid down, it's 2. So that's how you're counting majority. So you could have more bees out, but they could have fortified a couple times, which means they have the majority over you. Even if you have more physical bees out there, they just don't count as much. So it's really a neat mechanic. You've got this little player board, and you're shuffling the different resources back and forth, and there's abilities to like reduce one resource by 1 to gain another one, and so it's all about managing those resources and getting those things into your tableau. That's going to get you the max amount of points. So Propolis really was a fun game. It was a lot better than I expected it to be. I'm really glad to have it.
And I just took a look at it, and I was really surprised looking at the rule book. It's 16 pages. I was not expecting a 16-page rule book out of that little box. Although I'd say like the last 4 pages are easily like solo mode and a couple other things like clarification. So more rules than I expected, but maybe it's just really well documented.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is more on card effects and things like that.
Examples.
I think the actual how to play is like 2 pages or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I if I recall correctly, it's not a lot no, there was a few more pages because they did have examples, but I want to say it wasn't more than 4 pages of actually what to do on your turn, how to play. So, and once you play a round or 2, you're like, oh, okay, boom. It all works. It all makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So, but that's what I've got. I'm going to, because the rest of my stuff you also played. So I'm going to turn some time over to you.
So just to mention Castle Combo, which I hadn't played it before this. This is one that you and I played on BGA. We're feels good to be back on BGA playing with you. But Castle Combo is new to me, and it's one that after playing it with you and kicking your butt is this is a game that I would definitely pick up. So next time I see it, I'll probably snag it. We also played some Gatsby, which I enjoyed, and I'm starting to see some of the strategy that's within this game. Did you find anything different playing through it second time around? Like in terms of, like, did you feel that you needed to accomplish things quicker, knowing what the end conditions were?
Yeah, I'm very curious, like how the game's going to turn out.
Okay.
So, or wait, did we finish that one? We did finish that one.
Yeah,
didn't we?
You won that one.
That's right. It was but I didn't. That's right. I remember I didn't look at it to see how it classified the win. And that's the thing. I think with the BGA version, you can just play and, oh, you win. But so like having to, like, playing by the actual end game. Like I feel like, yeah, I know it ended when we hit the top of the blue section. Like, I think that's what triggered it, right?
Yeah.
And then it was just like, well, I don't know if I actually met the official win condition. I think I just ended up with more stars than you.
Yeah, that's
the
what it
thing
was.
with me. I think it's going to be hard to get the actual win condition in this game.
I think the
majority of it's going to default.
It's probably not common, but right. I bet that's part of the strategy where that central track. Oh man, what is it? The first one is like the cabaret, right?
Yeah,
cabaret, the racetrack, and whatever the middle one's called, I forget. The city, the buildings. Anyway, I bet that is the biggest point of contention because it forces the end game, and then you are trying to either force the end game because you want to win because you think you have a lot of points over your opponent, or you're trying to delay it as much as possible. And half of the actions that you get force that track to move. So it is it's a quick ending game. And and it forces the strategies to act accordingly. Let's just put it that way.
I can say I cursed a couple of times. Yeah. When I'm like, oh, I know what I'm going to do, and it wouldn't let me do it because you had selected my next move. I'm like, yes. No! Or you selected the moves that I was allowed to take. So I couldn't go where I wanted to.
Yep. So you snooze, you lose on those things. Definitely. And then
but I still kicked your booty.
Yeah. So you doubled my score. I think it was 10-5, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Points wise.
I did pretty good.
You did And then we played Panda Spin. Actually, that game is still ongoing. And we were talking about this initially right as we started the podcast, where we apparently played it wrong when we played at Gen Con. And some stuff makes a little more sense. At least it does for me with how the game plays, where apparently when whoever leads, like let's say if they choose a pair, you can't do like a straight of 6 cards and annihilate them. The only way to do that is with a bomb, which is 4 of the same. That's how I got you that one time.
Yeah.
But otherwise you need to follow. No, so you need to either do a bomb, you need to follow the same set or whatever you call it, or you need to have an element card. Those are the only things you can play. So it creates an interesting dynamic. And then also I think that causes the cards to flip more because at least the rounds ended quicker. But
yeah, they did. We didn't and I remember I was talking about like, man, I was playing so many cards. Well, I guess that's because we were playing it wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm like used to, like, I was thinking of like Scout
Right.
where when someone puts a single card down, any pair will beat a single. Any three of a kind would beat a pair.
That's what I assumed too.
That's the way you and I were playing Panda Spin to begin with. And then when we went to BGA and the first time I went to play a pair on to beat your single card, it wouldn't let me do it.
Yep.
I'm like, what? So it's like, I'm still convinced BGA's wrong. I'm just
and it was funny when it was enforcing the proper rules, let's put it that way. I was stuck, right? And then I had a pass. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And then next time around, I tried the same thing. It's like, oh, it won't let me pass. Yep. And I think on the third time, that's when I finally gave up. And I'm like, okay, I tried it. And I'm like, all right, the rules are different than what we expected. And I even looked at the rules, and I wish the official rules had like an FAQ, and they said something like, if you're trying to play like a higher order set to beat whatever's there, it's like you're a big dummy and it doesn't play that way. then I would have understood that instead of trying to play it wrong. I wonder if that's a common mistake, or maybe it's just us. You know what? I'll blame you. It's just you.
I started us off that.
Yeah, it's all your fault. It's all your fault. But I still love the game regardless, and I'm looking forward to playing it in person with you again and kicking you butt, playing it properly. Or maybe you could house rule it and play it improperly. That's Panda Spin, this board game life edition.
There you go. Yeah, I think I'm going to dig around and see if I can find anybody, see if anyone's talking about that in.
I bet it's in the forums.
In the forums,
yeah, so. In the rules section or something. Or if there's any of the written reviews in the forums, they'll go, yeah, we played it wrong. Or they'll probably say like, well, if you're like Rob and Mark, you'll misread this section and make an assumption, and you're wrong. One of the two. But anyway, so that's Panda Spin. And then I also did Flip 7, which I will elaborate more in our main topic section. Yeah, well, what is he alluding to? Anyway, so that's the games we got to the table most recently. And before we get on to the news, just want to drop a quick note that you can contact us in a bunch of different ways. You can send us an email at contact@thisboardgamelife. Just leave a comment on any of our posts, either on BGG or over on YouTube. And you can also leave us a voicemail at our website, thisboardgamelife.com. There's a little widget on the right-hand side where you can use the leave up to a 90-second message, or heck, you can even just record an MP3 on your phone and just email it to us at our contact@thisboardgamelife email. And with that being said, also don't forget to like and subscribe. Always important. Come on.
Yes, it is.
Where is it?
It's there.
No, I don't.
It's there.
Okay. I didn't. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
You probably shoved me down in the corner.
I had you partially off screen.
There you see.
Stop
yelling at me. Stop bullying me.
I only needed like the beautiful part of you, so I saw your faces. That's the most beautiful part.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. Anyway, so got a couple items of news to discuss. So you got one thing here. Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah.
And then I'll drop my couple other ones that I got real quick.
Okay, so looks like Roxley is going to bring out a new edition of Martin Wallace's 2007 game Brass, which also, I'm sorry, I'm reading this wrong. In 2018, Roxley released a new edition of the 2007 game Brass under the name Brass Lancashire. And then later, they released Brass Birmingham.
Was it later?
Now, what's that?
Because I got them at the same time. I kickstarted them.
Really? Because at the same
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so it's weird. It's the way this. Okay, in 2018, they released a new edition of the 2007 game Brass under the name Brass Lancashire, which the subtitle's relevant because at the same time it released the spin-off game Brass at Birmingham.
Right.
So thank you.
Which is like
you were
sequel.
correct.
Yeah, which is like sequel or new.
And Brass Birmingham is currently the number 1 ranked game on Board Game Geek. And Roxley has now announced...
It is? Wow.
It is. They've now announced Brass Pittsburgh, a third title in this game line, courtesy of designers Wallace and Gavin Brown, who are co-designers of Birmingham. So they're planning to reveal information on Pittsburgh on a bi-weekly basis starting August 20th, which is tomorrow from the time we're recording this show, leading up to a crowdfunding launch on February 3rd, 2026, ahead of a 2026 retail release. So looks like this might be more, instead of a crowdfunding, more of like a pre-order if they're going to have it out by the end of the year.
Wow.
So, but
I think
this is going to be pretty popular.
Yeah, I must have missed it or just not paid attention. But yeah, Brass Birmingham, number 1 overall and number 1 in strategy. That's incredible. So,
and if you're wondering if you haven't heard about it, so I'll just tell you, I'm going to read what they state that this Pittsburgh's allows. So Brass Pittsburgh is going to allow you to re-experience the explosive late 19th century industrial boom of America's Gilded Age in its northeastern Steel Belt region. Players will take on the role of a ruthless industrial titan in the age of Cornelius Vanderbilt, Andrew Carnegie, John D. Rockefeller, and Henry Frick as they build sprawling networks of railways, pipelines, steel mills, oil refineries, and more. This is built on Martin Wallace's acclaimed Brass system. The standalone game will introduce innovative new mechanisms and content while maintaining the overall structure and strategic depth for which Brass has become known. So, there you go.
And you said that was a 2026 release?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
They're going to crowdfund.
That's cool.
The crowdfunding launches February 3rd. Yeah.
So very cool. It's not coming out like 2 years later.
Yeah. I prefer that.
Yes. Okay. So, and then is that all on that one?
That's it for my news.
All right. So I've got a couple of things that I thought were interesting. So I'm just going to hit them up real quick. I'll try to stick with the order that I've got them in the show notes there. So Tycoon Games has been on a buying spree lately. So they acquired a bunch of CMON games a couple weeks ago. I think it was before Gen Con. They acquired 5 CMON games, and like right around Gen Con time, I think that's when they did the Gamelin acquisition. So the Gamelin games, which are like, the Tiny Epic series, which has got a fair amount of games in it. They've acquired 3 more titles from Ludonaut, and 2 of them are Spiel Award winners. So they picked up the 2015 SDJ winner Colt Express, along with the 2022 SDJ winner Living Forest. And they also picked up Lewis and Clark, the Expedition, which, man, that one came out about 10 years ago. So it's interesting how they're just snapping up all these games. Granted, they're not evergreen, meaning like brand new titles, but I think that these are probably still selling, fairly well because they're classics. And having a game that's an SDJ winner like Living Forest, and very recently, like 3 years ago, that's probably going to be pretty nice too, because those, I think, as long as they're available, they're probably going to keep selling to some degree. So we'll see what's next for them. I did want to mention, I thought this was kind of interesting. Doom is coming to the board game world again. There's going to be some crowdfunding action coming up here later in 2025. There was a Doom game that came out a couple of years ago. I don't remember it being super popular, but if you're a longtime listener, you know that Mark and I, we've done a game podcast called This Xbox Life. Notice the similar naming convention there. See
Never
what we did?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we did like 900, almost 900 episodes with that, and Mark's done another show even prior to that. So we've been a long time gamers. So Doom is something that sits close to our hearts, at least my heart. I like Doom, and I've played the Dark Ages about halfway through it. And Gears of War is another one that Halo is another one that we've gone way back with. So it's neat to see the bridging of the two gaming worlds, and we'll see what happens with this later on this year. I thought this was pretty cool. Ascension is one of, I'll say, the classic games in my gaming history. It's a game that I've played so many games of. I don't even know, probably at least 50 times, if not more. And I've got a ton of the expansions that have come out over the past 15 years. There's a Kickstarter, or maybe, no, GameFound. There's a GameFound campaign that just started today with Ascension, where they're coming out with this huge collector's edition, and then there's like this amazing, like, all-in package also, but that was like $500. Man, that is a lot. I was actually looking at it earlier today thinking, like, do I want to dip my toes in there? It'd be nice to get like a really cool version of this, but I haven't played it in so long that I think I might pass on it, or I'll just jump into it right before it closes. The campaign closes. You know how that goes, don't you, Mark? Where you resist for years, or not years, for weeks, and then you pick it up in the last hours of the campaign. But anyway, in addition to that, Ascension Legends is heading to retail in about a week from now. So August 26th is the date where it's going to be released. It was previewed over at the San Diego Comic-Con, of all places, last year. So this is a spin on, or a new take on Ascension, where you get all the same stuff that we've enjoyed in the past. And this time around, players can have new heroes that have like a legendary mechanic assigned to them, and you basically will accumulate renown, which is, I'll say, like the currency in there, and to eventually power up your characters. So Ascension was their original game that they came out with. So it was Justin Gary. It was originally Stoneblade Entertainment, and then it was Gary Games, and then it turned into Stoneblade, or vice versa. I forget. But it came from a bunch of folks that were Magic players, and then they decided to make their own spin on it. And so Ascension was born, and then they came out with a computer game called Soulforge, where the big spin on that was that using a computer, or a computer game, you could now level up cards, which is something that's, I'll say, a little more difficult to do in a traditional game, unless you do something like what Mystic Vale does, or Custom Heroes does, where you have those cards that are like sleeved, and then you put in the clear plastic cards to power up the cards. So that's, I think, what they eventually did to accomplish what Soulforge did. And I see this whole legendary mechanic that they're bringing to Ascension Legends kind of like a spin on that. So that'll be interesting to see how well received that one is. Again, this is coming out on August 26th, so just about a week from as of when we're recording this. It plays 1 to 4 players, 13 and up, and plays in about 13 minutes. So definitely looking to see how that one turns out, because I don't know. I might pick that one up just in case, because I haven't gotten one in a long time, and maybe I'll pass on the big boy. And then a quick little mention, Ninth Level Games is releasing Thunder Road Vendetta RPG. So this is going to be in retail for $39.99. We really enjoy the board game that came out, 2 years ago? Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago. On Kickstarter, and we played at BGG and loved it. So if folks are into, like the whole Mad Max style type of thing, I wonder if this RPG is going to be pretty good. Next up, there's going to be a refresh of Memoir 44. This came out of the blue. I didn't expect this. But then again,
shocked at this.
Yeah.
This is in 3 days.
Yeah. They've got Hoth, right? So there's the Star Wars reskin. And this game's been around forever. I don't even know when it came out. At least probably 15 years ago, I'm guessing. So it's going to be reskinned, available on August 22nd. Oh, it launched in 2004. So 21 years ago? Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, it was launched in 2004. Memoir 44 was by Days of Wonder on the 60th anniversary of D-Day. So that's pretty cool. The updated version of the game is going to have newly designed miniatures. That's cool that they're going to be new and fresh. Not that there was anything necessarily wrong with old ones, but
these will more faithfully recreate historical units and equipment, along with new plastic trays and army boxes to help players sort and organize their pieces, which that would be nice.
Yeah. And then
I haven't even played my original version. Now I got to go buy a new one.
Maybe we can play it online, so you can get a jump start on it. Anyway, the scenarios included in the core set have been bumped up to 20, covering fighting on Omaha Beach, Pegasus Bridge, Operation Cobra, and the Ardennes. So look for this one to come out soon here, and it's going to have an MSRP of $69.99. Then next up, just cover this one real quick. Asmodee is releasing Splendor Kids, and I can kind of wonder, they haven't done this already. Dice, Splendor, the card game, Splendor, the dice game, Splendor, the kid game. What else is there? The Splendor Roll and Write, and they'll have everything covered. And that's all that I had for the news. There was something else I think I wanted to briefly mention, but that's fine. And I lost the show notes. Where are the show notes? There's the show notes. So for the main topic today, I had a couple of things to mention, and then Mark, I'm going to go through and I'm going to ask you a couple of questions on this, because, and hopefully that'll spark some discussion and make me kind of wonder about my craziness that sparked this whole thing to begin with. So this past week, I spent almost a week over on a family vacation. So I was traveling in the Southwest, and I had brought a copy of Flip 7 with me.
Okay.
And I figured Flip 7 would be fun to play with the fam, in case we got any downtime. And I tried, we wound up not having a whole lot of time. So I kind of had it out a bunch of times, but it did not get any playtime or table time, whatever you want to call it. So this past weekend, I was visiting my family, and I brought it with me again. So I was going to be there for pretty much the whole day, just hanging out. I had some, I'll call chores to do. We're going to have dinner, and I figured, hey, this would be perfect. Let's get some downtime with everybody. I'll introduce them to this game because Flip 7 is very accessible, right? Don't you think? It's maybe a good gateway game. It's fun. It's easy, and you can have some like exciting times with the fam. Because I remember playing with you guys when I was visiting this February. It was a lot of fun, and we were joking around with each other, and a good time was had by all, I think. Anyway, so I'm just going to briefly explain kind of what happened. So I brought the game out, and I said, hey, let's play this game, because we were all just hanging out in the kitchen. Hey, let's play this game. My cousin basically looked at the game and immediately left the room without saying a word. I tried to get my aunts to come over, because I was visiting my aunt and uncle. I tried to get my aunts to come over and to play, and she goes, I'm not interested in any kind of gambling games. And she left the room, which left my uncle and the cat. My uncle was sitting next to me, and he's quiet. He didn't say anything. And I'm like, hey, let me show you what this is about. So he sat there in silence as I explained the game, did not say a word. And then I actually went through a couple of turns explaining it. And he sat there patiently, quietly, keyword, quietly. And then I realized that I had lost him at some point. And I tried to get my cousin and my aunt to come back. They had zero interest, did not even want to try. And this was kind of a bummer, because I was excited to introduce them to the game and to the hobby that I love. And then that sparked a whole deluge of thoughts on my drive home after that, where
time to find a new family.
Yes, exactly. Where can I find one? No, it just made me kind of wonder about like, well, what am I doing? And number two, was this result normal? Yes or no? And a bunch of other things. So let me kind of lay out some of this. So one thing that's very common with board gaming, at least this is how it was for me, especially in the early years of the hobby, my early years of the hobby, is I had this compulsion to share gaming with everybody, where it's like, I love this hobby so much. Let me show you what you've been missing.
Yeah.
Is kind of how it goes. And I think this is common. This is not just me. I think it's common in the hobby. And I even remember when I visited you, I brought Star Realms. Remember when I visited you in Arizona years ago?
Yeah.
I brought a copy of Star Realms, and I was like, I'm going to teach you how to play Star Realms. And, I think you liked it to a point. And then I want to say, didn't you get a copy of it and then kind of sit on it for a couple of years before?
I eventually did get a copy. I don't know if it was right after that.
Yeah.
But I do.
Yeah, because I remember you started with that, and you also did some TIE Fighter. No, X-Wing, not TIE Fighter.
X-Wing, yeah.
Some X-Wing and stuff like that. But there's this compulsion for us to share the hobby with people, which makes me kind of wonder, is that normal, or is that just because it's a social hobby? For example, I'd like to say that you and I we podcast also as a hobby, and we do YouTube as a hobby as well. Yet we're not going around going, hey mom, why don't we do a podcast together? Something. I don't know. Maybe you do. I don't know.
No.
Or, there's people that do puzzles, right? Are they going to everybody, hey, let's do a puzzle together? Like you go visit somebody's house. Let's do a puzzle. Let's do 1,000 piece.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe some people do. But is that like a compulsion? Do you think that's normal? Or is it just part of the hobby? Or we're just trying to find more people to play with? And any thoughts on that? Like, what has your experience been? Because I know you've shown your mom and your kids.
Yeah, I think it's because of the hobby is, like you said, it is social. There are games that are made for solo players, but I've got a bunch. I've played some. I honestly don't enjoy them as much as when I'm playing a board game with other people.
And so, I bet I've basically noticed that some games are very mechanical when you're playing solo. You're just going through the motions, so it doesn't hit the same. What would you say?
Yeah.
That's it?
I think it still can be very fun. Like, was it Unstoppable?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Unstoppable. That's really fun. But I actually enjoyed it more because you can also play that 2-player. I enjoyed it better as a 2-player game. So solo games can be fun, but I do think that board gaming, I don't break out. I've got quite a few solo games. I got a bunch that can be played solo. I typically don't play them solo. I just don't enjoy them as much as sitting there and playing that very same game with someone else is a lot more enjoyable. And I think our hobby is really about, we both of us have been into video games for a long time, and I basically don't play any video games other than I play stuff on my iPad every night, right? There's some games I play, and you play stuff like Clash of Clans or something like that, Clash Royale, something like that.
Fate War, DC Dark Legends, yeah.
Yeah, so there's things that we play but those are like, we're happy to play them without somebody else. It's like, it seems so natural just to sit down and play a video game and do a solo run. Or, I mean, video games were solo for so long, where board games never really were that. Right. And nowadays they're like making solo versions of board games, right? Where video games are now, it's like, oh, then we went into multiplayer and connected people online, and then you wanted to play with your friends. Board games is like the same thing. It's like, it's more fun when you're playing with other people. And what I think could be a turnoff for a lot of people that don't know, and maybe your aunt and your cousin were like this, is that sometimes when they see board games or they think of that, they're like, oh, I don't like losing, or I'm going to lose because you play all the time, and I just don't want to, I don't want to be the fodder, right? Just so you can beat me up. So, and that's not the intent that like you and I have. Like, I don't care that my daughter beats me at Ticket to Ride all the time. I have fun sitting at the table playing a game with her.
Exactly.
That's something that makes me happy. I don't care if I lose. And I know going into it, she's going to whoop my butt. She's really good at this game.
Because she cares if she loses.
I care too. I want to win. And I take it with pride when I can beat her in that game. But and that's why I talk about, a lot of times I really like cooperative games more than I do. I'm not a big fan of competitive games. I do prefer a cooperative experience with people. I find a lot of enjoyment working together as a group to overcome whatever obstacles, just like the Peak Team Rangers I was talking about that I played. Even though we didn't quite win, it was a very fun experience to play. And I'm like, I want to play this again. Now, there are competitive games that are really fun to play, but if you're playing with a group that, like my group is very friendly. They, if you make a mistake, people will be like, well, go ahead and fix it. Like, it doesn't matter. Like we, we're not like, oh, you can't do that. That was 2 turns ago. Sometimes we'll jokingly be like, no, you should have caught that, 3 rounds ago. If they go too far, but everyone's like,
Snooze, you lose.
Yeah, but there's no like real competitiveness. It's more of we're just getting together. We love playing games. We want to get together and play and have fun, interacting with each other, playing the things. And that's where I think maybe sometimes we get a little pushback from those that aren't in the community. They might view it as more of like, oh, you're just going to destroy me, and I don't want to be destroyed. Like, but that's not it. And usually when I teach, I'm the one that always loses because I'm spending the time focused on them, helping them to, hey, if you did this, you could do that. And I'm not, and like when it's my turn, I'm like, yeah, okay, boom, I just play something, and I'm not focused on my strategy. I'm not focused on my game. I'm focused on their game.
Right.
I want them to learn it, them to kind of, so it's like, hey, you could do this. You could play this way. You could play that way. Here's benefits of this. Here's benefits of that. I don't play it for them, but I'm trying to show them options so that they kind of get a better understanding of what it is, right? But ultimately letting them make that decision. And usually when I'm doing that, I always lose a game whenever I'm teaching, because I don't care about my game. I care that the others have a good experience and get a good understanding of what the game is. And my mother's always like, well, you just let me win. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to let you win. I'm not letting you win. Right. You are winning. Yes, I'm making recommendations to you. And most of the time she's doing it. So I'm beating myself in a way. But she's learning how to play the game.
Right.
So, and she really does enjoy. In fact, I got one the other day. I just opened up one called Sand Art. I did a video. It'll be releasing next week, I think. I'm like, I think she'll really like this because it's got color pencils and you're kind of coloring in, and there's some artwork type of things. And I got to learn how it all works, but I think it'll be something that she'll really enjoy. And so I've got a couple things like the up or down that I mentioned. I think that's something that she might enjoy.
And the cool thing is that she's open to it.
Yeah, she loves Flip 7.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, so I think the biggest challenge I think for us is to kind of get across, hey, I'm not trying to beat you. It's not about winning or losing. It's about let's just play this game and experience this and have fun. No matter what the game is, it's an experience. Like we played the 4 Doors, that was really fun. I liked that. It was kind of cool. Like, yeah, Rob and I are trying together to beat this, get these tokens before the shadows close the door on us, It's, and maybe that's the way to approach. It's not so much maybe the simplicity, but maybe a game that's more cooperative. Maybe that might be the way to get non-gamers or those hesitant. Maybe we can try to find like cooperative games to try to get them to join. But even that can be a struggle because they're like, what do you mean cooperative? It's just not. Remember my very first one, Forbidden Island. I hated that game. Like, this makes no sense. This is stupid because I didn't understand cooperating in a board game. That was like a new concept for me.
Right.
I remember there was to the competitive.
Yeah, I remember you had a problem with the whole cooperative thing. We talked about it on one of the early episodes.
Yeah. So, but now it's like I love cooperative, but it didn't. Being new to the game, new into board gaming, or at the time, like it. This was something you recommended we get. I think I was still in Arizona at the time.
Yeah.
And we bought it. And I'm like, this sucks. And my whole family loved it. Like, this is stupid. But I couldn't grasp that we were working together for some reason.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite game type. But
it's a you problem.
Oh, yeah. I admit that. I'm DUM dumb when it comes to board games and stuff. But I lose most of the time. My mom's always like saying, oh, how was your Wednesday game night? Oh, I had good fun. Did you win? No. I think the other day I was like, well, I did win 1. I'm like, yeah, I won 1 game out of the 4 we played, but I had a great time. And that's what it's about. It's like, I don't care. I track I track like wins and losses and scores, but it's not to see. I never look to see, ooh, how many games did I win compared to how many I lose. What I do is I like to see when I play a game, if I play a game a second time, did I improve on my score? So when I play SETI next time, did I do better than previous? Because to me, even if I lose, hey, and I've had games like that where, was it Power Grid? I would see every time I'd play, I'd always lose that game. But I was seeing that I was increasing, my score was getting higher and higher every time I was playing. And I was really happy with that. I'm like, I am learning this game. I'm getting better at this game. It's making more sense. And I'm seeing improvement in my gameplay. And that was a win for me. That made me happy. So, and I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. They look at like, because especially adults, we grew up with games that were, mostly all competitive. And, if
and very basic. Unless you got into some of the more nuanced ones. I mean, most people just know Chutes and Ladders.
Yep. 3 years ago, I didn't know about all this stuff. I had none of this behind me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, eyes wide open. I'm like a kid in a candy store. It's like, oh, yeah. I was in a new game store on Saturday, and I was like, oh, look at all this. Wanted to buy stuff. And I had, oh, look at this. I'll get this. And I had it in my hand. And I was just done telling my friend Eric, I'm like, I'm stopping buying. I'm got to be very careful when I buy. I'm trying to, and then 30 seconds later, I'm like, oh, look at this. They got it. And then I'm like, wait, what am I doing? And I put it back.
Now that's crazy talk. What's the matter with you putting it back?
Because I know someone who has it. If I really got to play it, I can ask them. I need to get it to where I can play the games I really want to play more than once. Like Arc Nova, I want to play that again. Oh my gosh, I had so much fun on Saturday playing that game. So, but yeah, I get it. I think we just have to, and maybe when they want us to try something new, we say, nope.
Yeah,
or we say, come play this game for me. Then I'll do your thing. You do my thing. I asked you a couple of months now. I've been asking you to do.
So you have to bribe people to play.
I see
how it goes.
There you go. Hey, whatever it takes, man.
Yeah. No, one thing that was interesting too is having that, I'll call it board game rejection when I got snubbed by the fam. That was tough. I mean, it was tough in a weird way because it was very much like disappointment. And I wonder if that's like a normal reaction as well, or just maybe my hopes were too high.
It's something that you have a very deep passion for. It's a part of you. Like this. So your background, that's not a background. That's not a fake background. That's not put up for the show. You have had those games and those calics behind your desk for years.
That's true. Yep.
This is not a facade. That's you. You are a gamer. I mean,
that is my craziness.
I'm just new to it, and I'm just being crazy.
Including the bobblehead from the Diamondbacks. Yeah. Dude.
So it is you. You are gaming. This is important to you. So when people push back or, you just kind of like, ow, it's like they're saying no to you.
Actually, when we were doing the Xbox podcast, didn't I have board games behind me when we were doing that? Yeah.
Yep. I used to tease you about it.
Yeah.
Because we used to tease you. It's like Rob wouldn't be playing. We did our games played. Brun and I would talk about the games we played, and Rob would be like, we'd be like, okay, Rob, what board game did you play this week?
And then it's like I'm talking Japanese, blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
it means nothing. Yep. I played Lancaster. Okay, all right. Yeah. I played Dominion. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Okay, good on you.
Yeah.
All right. Back to Halo.
Yeah, exactly. Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
But the other thing I just wanted to touch on again was, do you think that us as board gamers, we're so eager to share this hobby? that we push it on other people way more than people in other hobbies would ever push their thing. Because I'll just use the loose example, like, people garden as a hobby. They don't go to their neighbor's house and go, hey, let's go out and back.
But that's not a social thing.
Yeah,
see, that's the thing. Our hobby
yeah, you're right.
involves other people.
Yeah.
Unless you're a solo board gamer only.
Right.
Then and that's the thing. Those people are not going to go to other people and talk about it because they're a solo gamer. That's it. But normal board games, I'm not saying those aren't normal, but I guess I should say a typical board game, majority of board games are meant for 2+ players.
Yes.
So you require other people into our hobby to join us. And when we enjoy it, then we can bring others into it. Then, yeah, we're going to be like, hey, come play with me. You're not going to get that from someone who likes to pull weeds.
Yeah.
Or garden, or that's a completely, they're in their own zone. They're enjoying it. Just like sewing or working on your car or, maybe out 4-wheeling or something, that can be fun with other people too, but there's a massive cost to that. And if people don't have that, they don't have 4-wheelers and they're not going to be able to do it. We're here. It's like, come here, sit down at my table, play this game I have.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. And the other thing that I was kind of thinking about was when you're trying to introduce people to the hobby, in a way, are you trying to recruit people? You're not just introducing them. You're like, play with me. So it is sort of a selfish act in some ways. Because I brought stuff to lunch at work, like little card games or something like that, and we've played a bunch of times, and my coworkers have enjoyed. This is years ago, but it was not a selfless thing. It was sort of like, I'm going to try to see if I can play games at lunch in addition to playing games at home. So, is it obsession? Is it recruitment? Are we crossing the line?
No.
With that stuff sometimes? No.
I mean, you could. I mean, a person can if you keep hounding people.
Yeah.
You become the guy. It's like when you walk in, they're like, people are like, oh crap, look out.
Oh.
Don't, save this table, save the seat so Rob don't sit down, he's going to want to play a board game.
I was like,
you can become that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to get to that extreme. And
right.
That just made me think, my uncle, he was like sitting in the corner so he couldn't get out. That's probably why he sat there so quietly the entire time.
I do think I just thought of this. It could be maybe because board gaming is like a religion to us. And, we become like one of those trying to convert people over to our religious beliefs of board gaming.
Like I said, recruiting.
Yeah.
Because
oh no, here come those missionaries. Lock the door.
Because especially early on, when you get the wide-eyed introduction to board gaming and you're like, oh, where was this? Yep. Where was this board gaming? Because you know how it is when you explain board games to somebody who doesn't know, let's say, the current hobby, air quotes.
Yeah.
Right? They just think of old school. I bought my games at Toys R Us, and, you can find some at Goodwill. By the way, on a side note, after not going to Goodwill for years, I stopped into the local Goodwill because I always see this stuff like, oh, I found this amazing game, right? I found
Battlestar Galactica, the board game, in shrink for $2.
I was going to say BSG. I was going to say, no, it was for $1.99. And, I keep seeing like posts like that. And it's like, why do I waste my time even trying this? I will never get these 15 minutes of my life back because they had the same old stuff. Although, when I used to go to the Goodwills a lot more often, years ago, I used to see apples and apples all the time, and I
Oh
did not
yeah.
see that game at all this time. So there is that. But I did see 15 versions of Clue and Monopoly.
Oh yeah.
Anyway. And headbands with
Oh
that
yeah.
thing on your forehead. But, I forgot what, so when you're all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in the hobby, like, this is all amazing. What? There's these games called deck builders. What? There's worker placement. What? Oh, I need more. I need them all. Personally, I need to try everything. And you're so excited. And then you're telling everybody about this amazing hobby that they have no idea about. And they're looking at you like, man, you're tripping. You've gone off the deep end. And does that persist? Like, I've cooled off a lot in the past, 15 years from that. And I'd like to say that I don't feel quite the same way as young Rob, new to the hobby Rob. But maybe some of that stuff never leaves us. And, we still want to share some of the hobby with others.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was just a couple of things that I was thinking from that situation. And, I was thinking maybe next time I visit my aunt and uncle, I'm going to corner my uncle in the same spot so he can't leave.
Yeah.
And I'm going to throw down Twilight Struggle onto the table.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I will get him to play Twilight Struggle.
No, you won't.
If he can't play Flip 7 or won't play Flip 7, he will play Twilight Struggle.
Wow. Oh, man.
This is how this beautiful mind works.
Now you've gone overboard.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, thanks for indulging me with my craziness, Mark, with this topic.
Hey,
And also,
you created a monster over here, so
yeah,
I get it from my family too. They're just like, they think sometimes I think they think I'm crazy, and they're just like, you got enough. When's enough? I'm like, and I'm like, what I keep telling them is like, you know what? I play them. I have a list of the things I've yet to play, and every week I'm working on. I'll learn one or two of them, and I take them with me to game night. And if we get a chance to play them, we do. And it's like, I'm working on that list. Unfortunately, it grows. I add more to it than I can get off of it every week, but I play this stuff. I'm enjoying it. I see these games and I'm like, yeah, I've played this a bunch of times, or I need to play that one, or I played that one once and then I bought it and I haven't played my copy, but I'm still glad I got a copy of it. I think a lot of them don't get it.
No.
There are other hobbies that we could be in that cost a lot more money.
Yeah.
And you have nothing to show for it. There are, things that could cost less, but it's not causing anybody any harm. It's bringing in us happiness. We are being social, and I've been able to, I work from home, and I have now for 14 years, I think, officially over 14 years now. Oh no, 15 years. Since 2010. I've been working from home. So it's like, I don't go into the office and get to make friends and stuff there.
Yeah.
And then every time I've moved, it's like, I've moved several times, different states. It's like, okay, I've moved here 10 years ago. I didn't know anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So this gaming group has helped me meet and make friends that now I have, and we still mainly do gaming, but we talk about different things, and we share things from our lives, and it's just like, it's nice to be able to have friends that share that same passion. So then you're not working as hard on your family trying to get them to play. So, but yeah, we're not alone.
Yeah.
And as long as we're playing our games, I tell people, hey, how many times have, people bought stuff for, I have someone in my life who's buying stuff from Amazon all the time, and I'm like, that's your obsession.
Yeah.
At least, and I'll throw out one like Legos. Okay, I've bought a few and put them together because they were Lego sets that were like the Concorde, the Lamborghini, and the space shuttle with the Hubble telescope. I built those Lego sets and had fun with them. But those were Legos, like those were things that were meaningful to me, like in my childhood. And a little small Millennium Falcon. I picked that one up too. But like I don't go and go crazy and buy all these Lego sets and different things. And
you need that shelf space for games. That's why.
Exactly. That's part of it. But like once I've built the Lego, it's done. So I had a few days of building a set. Now I still get to see it and I still remember that was fun. And I have that pride that, hey, I made that. But like when I have my games on my shelf, it's like I can pull it off the shelf and play it. That's the thing. It's not like I bought it, sits on a shelf and never gets touched. It's not like buying a knickknack or a piece of art that hangs on the wall. Like I get to take this off the wall, put it on the table and play it with friends and have fun, box it back up until later.
Well, and I'll take it a step further and say every game that you have on your shelf, as long as it's out of shrink, it's got memories associated with that.
Yes.
Like, for example, like my smashed copy of Downfall of Pompeii. It's got memories, and I'm not going to say the memory is me stepping on it, but I've got memories of that, of us playing it together when you were over.
Yes.
So there's more to games than just the games themselves. And I've heard the argument of like, hey, how many games do you need? Right? How many is too many? Right. That's the easy answer, and that's the proper answer. But you look at other what I'll call hobbies, like for example, there's somebody that we know, that mutual friend of ours that lives here in Chicago area, that is really into movies and TV shows. And the thing is, could you easily tell somebody who's into movies, like, hey, how many movies do you need to watch? You watched 50 movies this year. Why don't you just watch the same movies over and over and over? Granted, he does rewatch movies.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't rewatch TV shows or anything, although there's a couple that I might rewatch. But do you know what I mean? It's in other hobbies, people are always looking for the new, right? Books, movies, TV shows. People are always excited, like, hey,
music.
Yeah, music. Exactly. They're always looking for the new releases, and that's us with our craziness in a different way. But
I think the beauty about the difference between, and it's funny you mentioned movies, I was thinking the same thing, to go out to a movie is going to, like, if I go myself, it's like $50. When I take one of my kids or all my kids, we're spending $150.
Yeah.
No, it's like $150. The movie tickets and then all the snacks, if I take me and my 3 kids out, we're looking at $150. So
that's halfway to Arc Nova.
That's
3D edition.
Stop it. That's like, okay, so a 2-hour experience I just spent $150 on. Well, $150 in a board game, I can guarantee I can get more than 2 hours worth of value out of it. I can probably get possibly 10s, 20s, hundreds of hours depending on the game.
Well, not if you're a podcast host
and
looking to play the newest.
Yes,
looking
that
for
is
the new
problem.
hotness.
You're not helping my argument, Rob. My argument's for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, you can watch a movie over, especially if you own it. And that's cool. Like, I like to buy digital movies and I watch stuff multiple times. Just like I play board games. But, it's okay. As long as you're using it, I don't care what your hobby is. If you are enjoying it and you're getting satisfaction from it and you don't feel like anything is wasted, and you're not impacting anybody else. Like, now, if I was married, I don't think I'd have as many board games as I do now. And if I ever get remarried, I'm sure I would, that might, unless she's a gamer, which is going to be a requirement now.
So the dating pool is even smaller.
Yes, you must have a board game collection of 200 plus before I'll date you.
Yeah, we need to merge families and collections.
No, never merge the collection. No, that's going to go on a prenup. These games are mine before we met.
You're not going to take my...
After that, nothing would be purchased together. It's either your collection or mine.
Yeah. You have your games. She has hers.
Yes.
That's too funny.
So, but no, if you're not hurting anyone, financially and mentally and emotionally, physically, all that good stuff, if you're not hurting anyone and it makes you happy, it's a hobby. It's okay.
Yeah.
So it's like we could spend our money on worse things, Rob.
Oh yeah.
Like liquor and drugs, and we don't. So.
Or our drugs come in the form of they have a nice smell of a printing press in China.
Yeah, I don't have one actually in reach. I was going to pick one up and smell it. I was going to sniff it. It's like, oh yeah.
The intoxicating smell of the Chinese printing house.
Here. Hit me, Carl. Hit me. Oh yeah, Carl Chuddick to the rescue.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you smell that, Rob?
Okay, now you're getting creepy. No, so I guess to kind of just recap things, because we kind of touched on a lot of things. I guess it's probably normal for us to want to share the hobby with folks, but it's important not to be pushy. And if somebody is not going to even give it a chance, I guess it's their loss. We are not losing anything.
No.
By that, because we've got tons of people that we'll play with, and you know what? We don't need to play it at work. We don't need to play, the games at family events. Although it is nice, right? You can think of it as a value add, but we shouldn't be butthurt about.
Yeah.
I'll have to get over what happened the other day. But we shouldn't be butthurt if somebody doesn't want to give it a chance, because, for all we know, maybe they have hobbies that they really enjoy that we have zero interest in. And yeah, interesting discussion. Definitely interesting.
So when you go to those family events now, Rob, pack a bag of games in your car, but leave them in your car. And don't tell anybody you brought them, because one day they're going to be like, "Hey, Rob, you didn't bring any games with you? Oh, well, we're going to play." And you're like, "I'll be right back." Because sure enough, when the time you don't bring them is when they're going to want to play. So
funny you mentioned that. I just happened to be right back.
Nothing up my sleeve. Presto.
Presto changeo. So
all right.
Alrighty.
Good topic, man. Good topic.
Yeah. All right, so I believe that's it then. We can call it an end here at episode 103. Thanks for listening, everybody. And, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. Send us a line. Send us a comment.
What did I do?
Uh-oh.
I'm back.
Subscribed us.
I somehow hit this other button on my board and it mutes my headphones. I need to move that on the thing so it's not right beneath that button.
There you go. So anyway, all right. That's it for episode 103. Thanks for listening, everybody. Catch you all again in 2 weeks.
We'll see you at the table. Thanks, everybody.